You are an older man and you just lost everything. The relationship you built over decades, the house, the car, the businesses, half of everything you owned, she just took it. And on top of that, you have debt. You feel invisible to the world. You believe nobody would look at you again. The thing that made you feel valuable, your money, your stability, your ability to provide. You feel like you've lost control of all of it. You think no young, attractive woman would ever look at someone like you again. Before this video ends, I'm going to destroy every single one of those beliefs, because what you think made you attractive was never what actually made you attractive, and what the pain is building in you right now, that is something no money could ever buy. I know where you are right now. You're not looking for a motivational speech. You've heard enough of those. You're not looking for someone to tell you it gets better. You're looking for something real, something that explains why you feel the way you feel, and what it actually means for the man you're becoming. So let me be real with you. For years the world told you that a broken man is a weak man, that pain is something to hide, that showing the cracks makes you less, that the right thing to do when life destroys you is to recover quickly, put on a strong face and pretend it didn't happen. And most men do exactly that. They numb it, they anesthetize it, they find ways to make the pain disappear without ever using it. And that is the most expensive mistake a man can make. There are exactly two versions of you that can come out of this. One of them becomes invisible. The other becomes the most magnetic man in the room. The only difference is what you choose to do with what broke you. Stay until part 3, because that's where I'm going to show you exactly what she feels when she meets the man who went through the fire. Part 1. 2 men, the same fire, 2 completely different outcomes. Most people believe that how a man recovers from pain depends on his circumstances, his support system, his finances, his age. That's wrong. It depends entirely on one decision that happens in the darkest moment, what he does with the survival instinct that activates the moment he hits the bottom. Because here's what nobody tells you about the human body under extreme pain. When everything collapses, your nervous system doesn't shut down. It activates. It floods you with an energy unlike anything you've felt before. An instinct that says, we are low, we need to rise. That energy is not a symptom of your pain. It is the most powerful fuel a man can ever access, and what you do with it in that moment determines everything. The first man feels that energy and it terrifies him, because it's uncomfortable, because it demands something from him, so he finds ways to make it stop, not the pain, the energy, the discomfort, the demand. He reaches for easy dopamine, the hours of scrolling that go nowhere, the drinks that make the evenings shorter, the easy pleasures that tell his nervous system, it's okay, we're fine, nothing happened. And his nervous system believes it. It stops pushing, it stops demanding. The survival instinct goes quiet, and what's left is a man who is comfortable, a man who is satisfied, a man who is from the outside fine, and from the inside completely hollow. He didn't heal, he didn't grow, he just learned to live with the ceiling he built for himself the day he chose comfort over construction. Daniel, 57 years old, sales manager from Phoenix. His marriage ended after 22 years. He told me the first months were the hardest he had ever lived, but then something shifted. He found a routine that made the pain manageable. Takeout every night, sports on TV, weekends that blurred together. 3 years later he said, I'm okay, I'm stable, I'm fine. But when I asked him the last time he felt genuinely alive, he went quiet for a long time. He said, I don't remember, that is the first path. What he believed, I survived. What actually happened, he stopped. He survived the pain by making himself too small to feel it. The second man feels the exact same energy, the same survival instinct, the same flood of discomfort, and he makes a different decision, not because he's stronger, not because he has more resources, but because somewhere in him he understands something instinctively, as then that this energy has a direction, and that direction is up. He goes to the gym, not because he feels like it, because his body is screaming that it needs to be built. He works on the project, not because inspiration arrived, because the survival instinct doesn't wait for inspiration. It demands action. He wakes up early, not because it's easy, because a man whose body perceives threat doesn't sleep in, it prepares. And something extraordinary begins to happen. Every morning he shows up, whether he slept or not, whether he cried in the car or not. His body starts to respond, slowly, undramatically, consistently, and consistency is the only language the body actually understands. Marcus, 61 years old, contractor from Denver. He lost his business, his marriage, and his house in the same 18 months. He told me he sat in an empty apartment for 3 days after everything collapsed. On the 4th day, he made a decision he couldn't fully explain at the time. He got up, he went to the gym, he came back and worked on a new project for 2 hours. He didn't feel better, he didn't feel motivated, he felt like he was moving through wet concrete. But he did it again the next day, and the next. 2 years later, he had rebuilt his business from scratch. His body was in the best shape of his adult life, and women he had never expected to attract, were drawn to him in a way that confused him at first. He came to me and said, "I don't understand what changed." I told him, "Everything changed, not because you got richer or younger or more attractive in the conventional sense, but because you became a man who cannot be broken twice." And she can feel that, and this is the part that nobody explains, what she actually feels when she meets that man. What happens in her nervous system when she's in the presence of someone who has been through the fire and came back not bitter, but forged. Stay with me, because this next part is what changes how you see everything. Part 3, what she actually feels when she meets the man the pain built. Women are not attracted to comfort. I know that's not what the movies told you. But the female nervous system is not wired to respond to ease. It's wired to respond to certainty, to groundedness, to the specific energy of a man who has faced his worst fear and is still standing. That energy cannot be performed, it cannot be faked, it can only be earned. And you earned it in the exact darkness you've been trying to escape. When she meets the comfortable man, the one who numbed his pain, the one who chose easy dopamine over construction, she feels nothing she can hold on to. He's pleasant, he's available, he's easy to be around, and he feels like a Tuesday afternoon. Nothing wrong with it, nothing that stays with you either. But when she meets you, the man who was broken and chose to build, the man who went to the gym when he didn't feel like it, the man who has a project, a direction, a life that demands something from him, she feels something she cannot explain. A stillness in you that she has rarely encountered. A certainty that doesn't need her approval to exist. A presence that tells her nervous system, this man has already survived his worst. Nothing can shake him. And that specific feeling is what she will drive across town for, what she will think about at 2 a.m., what she will tell her friends about and struggle to put into words. But here is what I need to say to you directly, and I need you to hear this not as a coach, but as a woman who has watched too many men choose the first path when the second one was right there. The truth that most men don't want to hear is this: the easy dopamine, the scrolling, the numbing, the comfortable routines that make the pain manageable, they are not recovery, they are a very slow, very quiet decision to stay exactly where you are. And the tragedy is not that men choose it, the tragedy is that they choose it while telling themselves they're healing. You are not healing if you are not building, you are not recovering if you are not demanding more from yourself today than you did yesterday. The survival instinct that activated when everything collapsed, that is not a feeling to be managed. That is an engine, and an engine that is never used doesn't stay ready. It rusts. I am not saying this to be hard on you. I'm saying this because I have watched extraordinary men make themselves ordinary by choosing comfort at the exact moment their pain was trying to make them exceptional. Don't be that man. You are too close to something remarkable to settle for fine. Part 4. What the man who uses the pain actually does differently. First, he commands his body before his mind gives him permission. Every morning, before the thoughts can swallow him, before the sadness can pin him to the bed, he moves, the gym, the walk, the physical demand, not because he feels like it, because a man who cannot command his own body cannot command anything else, and his body responds, slowly, undramatically, inevitably. Second, he built something that has nothing to do with her, a project, a business, a skill, something that existed before she came and will exist after she's gone, not as a strategy to attract her, as proof to himself that he is more than what he lost. That proof becomes the foundation of everything. Third, he protects his attention like it is his most valuable resource, because it is. Every hour spent scrolling is an hour the engine is not running. Every night numbed is a night the construction didn't happen. He knows the difference between resting and hiding, and he refuses to hide. Fourth, he lets the pain be visible in the right way, not as victimhood, not as complaint, but as depth, as gravity, as the specific weight of a man who has paid a price that most people will never understand. That depth is not weakness. It is the most attractive thing a man can carry into a room. Here is what I want you to carry from this. The man you were before all of this, comfortable, certain, building the life everyone expected. She could have had him anywhere, there are thousands of him. But the man the pain made, the one who was destroyed and chose to build in the dark, alone, with no guarantee it would work, there is no version of him that she finds anywhere else. That man is rare, that man is you. The question is whether you're going to let the pain make you, or let the comfort keep you ordinary. Has this happened to you? Did you lose everything and choose to build anyway? Or are you still in the fire right now? Write it below. I read every single one. This channel exists for men who are doing the work in the dark when nobody is watching. I see you. And if you want to understand exactly what she sees in you when you become this man, the signals she sends, the questions she asks, what they really mean, watch the video right above this one. It shows you everything. See you there.